Imran Khan, husband, leader, fighter, a nation's pride blindfolded by injustice. Imran Khan, real owner of the people's mandate, father to a nation in chains, and husband to a wife they seek to break in isolation. Accountability will soon find the oppressors, if not by the laws of men, then by the hand of the Almighty, in this life or the next. From behind prison walls, a message echoes, not of surrender, but of warning. Imran Khan, former Prime Minister, leader to many innocent workers who were mercilessly killed at Chowk and later abducted in large numbers across the country without any legal charges. Husband to an imprisoned wife, framed as an enemy of the state. Now Khan speaks of something bigger than politics. Khan says, accountability will soon find the oppressors, if not by the laws of men, then by the hand of the Almighty, in this life or the next.
To his supporters, this is not just a statement. It's a promise to those who lost their lives, a promise to those who feel unheard, a promise that truth will not stay buried forever. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Maz Reporter. For nearly 3 years, Imran Khan has remained behind bars, facing case after case, pressure after pressure. His party says it's a campaign to silence him. The state says it's the rule of law taking its course. But in the middle of this clash, a deeper question is rising.
The events of May 9th. Supporters point to one thing. Where is the CCTV evidence? In a world filled with cameras. They say the silence of footage raises more questions than answers. To them, what's missing speaks louder than what's being said.
Khan's message cuts through all of this. He claims the truth cannot be crushed, not by prison walls, not by solitary confinement, not by what he calls false cases, and whether one agrees with him or not, his words are shaping a powerful narrative.
Imagine a man who once stood under roaring stadium lights, a man who led millions to victory, a man who lifted a nation's spirit with a single triumph. Now imagine that same man sitting alone in a prison cell. This is the story of Imran Khan, a husband, a leader, a fighter, and for many, a symbol of a nation's pride, now blindfolded by injustice. In 1992, Imran Khan captained Pakistan to its first and only Cricket World Cup victory. For millions, he wasn't just a cricketer. He was hope in human form. But his journey didn't end on the field. After cricket, he stepped into politics. Not for power, he said, but for change. He promised justice. He promised accountability. He promised a voice for the ordinary citizen. After more than 2 decades of struggle, in 2018, he became Pakistan's Prime Minister.
During his time in office, his government launched major programs, helping millions through poverty relief, providing free healthcare to low-income families, planting billions of trees to fight climate change, and opening religious corridors for peace. Supporters say he gave dignity to the forgotten, but power is never without consequence. In April 2022, Imran Khan was removed from office through a no-confidence vote, the first in Pakistan's history. He called it a conspiracy. His opponents blatantly denied it. What followed changed everything in Pakistan. So what changed? Just a few years ago, Pakistan's economy seemed to be recovering. Growth was rising, money was flowing in, and there was hope. But today, the story looks very different.
Let's break it down in simple terms. Around the final years of the previous government, Pakistan's economy was growing at nearly 6%. That's strong growth for any country. At the same time, overseas Pakistanis were sending home a record $29.4 billion in remittances. Money that supports families and boosts the economy, and a major welfare program, the ESOS program, was helping millions of low-income families survive tough times. So overall things were improving, not perfect, but moving in the right direction.
Fast forward to today, and the picture has changed. Economic growth has dropped to below 2%. That means businesses are slowing down, jobs are harder to find, and incomes are under pressure. At the same time, inflation, the cost of everyday things like food, fuel, and electricity in Pakistan has hit historic highs. Simply put, people are paying more, but earning less in Pakistan.
Another big problem? Investment. The amount of money being invested in the country has fallen to a 51-year low compared to the size of the economy. And without investment, it's hard to create jobs or grow industries. This has led to something even more worrying, a brain drain. Hundreds of thousands of skilled professionals are leaving Pakistan. Doctors, engineers, IT experts, people the country needs the most. Why are they leaving? For better opportunities, more stability, and a more predictable future.
It's not just the people leaving Pakistan. The money is vanishing too. Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi just admitted a staggering $100 billion has been moved out of the country over the last 4 years. Most of it now sitting in Dubai.
Mohsin Naqvi urged the business community to transfer back at least 30% of these offshore funds, an amount he estimated could be up to $10 billion to stabilize the economy before the next budget. But with the economy in crisis, will this simple request be enough to bring the billions home? What do you think?
For over 2.5 years, Imran Khan has been held in Adiala jail. Reports from his lawyers and family describe 22 to 23 hours a day in near total isolation, no normal human contact, limited access to information. As of April 2026, reports indicate that former Prime Minister Imran Khan's health has significantly deteriorated due to prolonged ill treatment and the current regime's failure to uphold international legal standards. This situation has drawn global attention to Pakistan's obligations under international human rights frameworks. 1. Failure to provide adequate health care. The Nelson Mandela Rules, Rule 24. 2. Violations of human dignity. ICCPR, Article 10.
In early 2026, Imran Khan's lawyers revealed something alarming: severe vision loss in one eye, a condition known as central retinal vein occlusion, a blockage that can cause permanent blindness if untreated. His family says help came too late. Authorities say treatment was provided. The truth remains disputed, but international voices have raised concern. A United Nations expert warned that prolonged solitary confinement can severely damage both mental and physical health. Amnesty International called his detention arbitrary and questioned whether fair trial standards were met. Another UN body suggested his imprisonment may lack legal basis in certain aspects. International law is clear: no arbitrary detention, no prolonged solitary confinement, humane treatment at all times, access to proper medical care, access to family and legal counsel. Critics argue that these standards may not be fully met.
In February 2026, 14 former international cricket captains from around the world signed a letter expressing deep concern, not about Imran Khan's politics, but about Imran Khan's health.
It is profoundly ironic that the man who single-handedly established Pakistan's premier cancer hospital, a very expensive medical facility that has provided healing to millions of poor, is currently being subjected to draconian and inhumane treatment by the nation he served as philanthropist and prime minister. Also, the current regime's vengeance against Khan has reached a shameful peak with the imprisonment of his wife, Bushra Bibi. As reports surface of her deteriorating health, the reality is stark. A husband behind bars, a wife behind bars, a family divided by walls.
This situation has also drawn global attention to Pakistan's obligations under international human rights frameworks. Protection of the Family, ICCPR, Article 23. International law recognizes the family as the natural and fundamental group unit of society, entitled to protection by the state. The simultaneous imprisonment of both spouses is often cited by human rights advocates as a violation of this principle. Right to health for female prisoners. The Bangkok rules, specifically tailored for women in prison. These United Nations rules mandate that women prisoners must receive gender-specific health care. Reports regarding Bushra Bibi's health in early 2026, including allegations of inadequate diet and medical neglect, would fall under these protections. Prohibition of collective punishment. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, have frequently raised concerns that targeting family members of political figures constitutes a form of collective punishment or coercion, which violates basic principles of justice
and the UN Basic Principles for the Treatment of Prisoners.
Imran Khan's supporters have doubts that there is a delay in justice. Imran Khan's critics and political opponents, imposed by the present regime, call him accountable under their own hired judges. But beyond politics, there is a human question. What happens when a nation's former leader, a global sports icon, is reduced to fighting blindness in a cell? Does it strengthen justice or weaken it?
Across Pakistan and across the world, the debate continues. In homes, in courts, on social media, is this justice? Or something far harsher and unlawful? Imran Khan, they say, has not backed down from his stance. Even now, he calls his struggle Pakistan's struggle. History has seen leaders rise and fall, but it remembers one thing above all. Justice delayed is justice denied.
What is your take? Will Imran Khan walk free from this illegal detention, or is corruption here to stay? Will the people of Pakistan finally struggle for their rights, or will fear of state-sponsored violence and abductions keep them silent? Drop your thoughts below. Stay informed, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to our channel, Maz Reporter. Thanks for watching. Peace.